let's go ahead. Let's give this a look. Hopefully we've been playing this on the second chat. That's my hope. I signed up for the beta. I haven't had a chance to see this or any of the new woo to come out of this. Since this is the dev stream for the beta announcement. So let's see if we're gonna be building a army of tomato, chat. What we got?
Hello everyone and welcome to Palia's gameplay first look. I'm your host Trisha Hirschberger and I could not be
like always. Let me know how the audio is,
to
chat.
walk you through the world of Palia. Now today we are here with Singularity 6 developers of the game, and I know everyone is so excited because we've just recently announced that the beta is coming for Palia. This is the time, but today will be the first time that we are showing Palia gameplay to the world.
So much,
thank you all for being
especially
here.
in the second market,
for being here. Let's meet our panelists. First up, we've got Palia's game director and creative lead, Aiden. Welcome to the stream.
Hey everybody, it's just amazing to be here after all this time working on the game, to be at the point where we're finally ready to show something. Thank you for your patience. Really excited to be here today.
So excited, Aiden. Thank you for being here. Sitting next to Aiden, we've got the scribe behind Palia's lore, villager characters, and the game's evolving world story, Olivia. Olivia, thank you for being here today.
Yeah, and also know how like that you collect those all on top of that.
The Ormshorn is a big hub for our villagers and players in the game, and it's just surreal to be here in person.
It is a very cool setting for sure. Also in the inn with us today is Maxwell, who keeps the team on track with Palia's development. Welcome, Maxwell.
Thanks, Trish. Really excited to show folks what we've got in store today.
Yes, it is going to be fantastic. And sitting just on the end of the inn tavern chair, here we've got Ambrielle, Palia's senior director of production, who makes your in-game characters look gorgeous. Welcome, Ambrielle.
Thank you so much. It's been really hard to wait all this time and not be able to say anything, so couldn't be more excited to start sharing with all of you today.
So since the excitement is so high today, in case you've missed it, let's go ahead and take a look at Palia's beta announced trailer.
Want the plushies already, chat. I'm trying to remember, where did we see this? Was it PC Gamer Show? Well, that might have been, actually, no, it might have been at, might have been at Simple Game Fest, maybe. Or again, maybe at the Nintendo Direct. I don't know anymore, chat. Maybe it was a Nintendo Direct. Again, that El Bindle vibe from that whiting chat. Also, hang on. Like always, let me double check. Where my mouse? There it is. This is 1080. Okay. I'm still getting, like, some Tweety Todd vibes. And the animation still like remind me a lot of like the Sims animation. Yeah, you better believe we're gonna go hunting, chat. Yeah, I'm getting caught up on the news, and we do got the beta coming very soon. And I haven't seen any of this yet. And hopefully we will get into beta so we can actually try this on what, Wednesday? Oh god, this is sneaking up so fast. Cause to be totally honest, I'm down for a whole MMO to just be, you know, just to be like the best part of New War met with like, you know, Toya season, Stardew Valley stuff. I'm totally down on that.
This game looks so beautiful. Was that an in-house aquarium I saw at one point?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, so gorgeous. Well, we've got so much to dive
Maybe
into.
they will announce it here, but have they said
Aiden,
when like the
Absolutely.
board's going to be?
At high level, it's a cozy community simulation MMO in which you get to be transported into this amazing, whimsical fantasy world, build the house of your dreams, develop relationships with all our unique cast of characters, and of course, most importantly, you get to do this with all your friends. It's a massively multiplayer game where all your friends can be a part of it.
Oh, I just can't wait. Now,
Yeah, it's an
for
interesting
everyone who's
MMO. It
watching
probably
right now,
like
we've got a lot to get
probably at
into
least
today.
1,000
Today,
probably.
we will be giving you an exclusive
That'd be
deep
my
dive
guess.
into the world of Palia. We'll be taking a first look at Palia's gameplay. We'll get into some of the lore and meet some of the villagers. We
Oh, this
will
is good.
dive
We're giving
into
out a
a
one down,
quest
Zachary.
and even check out multiplayer, and we'll be taking a look at the game's cosmetic items and art as well. So, like I said, tons to delve into. I am someone who is big into character creation. I saw in the beta announced trailer, trying on some different hairstyles, some different outfits. So if I'm just getting started in Palia, how do I make my character?
Absolutely. So this is actually the very first experience that you do in the game. You know, once you've logged in, and you can see we jump right into the lore right off the bat.
Yeah, eventually we're
Yeah,
gonna
that's what I'm
learn
hoping
this
for. I
swirly
haven't
pink
seen like
purple
specs
void
or
is,
anything, but I don't think it'd be
we're
anything too
already in the
crazy.
story. We're actually, part of the story is that humans are coming back to the world of Palia for the first time in thousands of years. Creating your character is a big part of that, you know, like what kind of human do you want to be?
Yeah, I'm very impressed right now already with the amount of options that you have. We took a look at face shape. Now we're looking at various skin tones, different eye colors. And just as a personal question for me,
I wonder
when
how much of the
created my
cosmetic gonna
character
play
in
into that.
Palia,
Bet you said they're
I
free to
tended to
play.
be someone that looked a little bit like me, but with some extra pizzazz. Olivia, are you someone who creates a character that looks like yourself, or do you go as far from that as you can?
I try to make them look as close to myself as humanly possible. Like if a game doesn't have like copper long hair, I'm like, oh, I'm already turned off for this game. So I'm glad we have so many options. So many people.
Wait,
can,
how many pages
be
is
able
that?
to
Is that just
find
one
themselves
page?
in our character creator.
Absolutely. And Aiden, for you, do you design a character that looks like yourself, or do you generally go into what you'd like to be in a fantasy world?
You know what? I'm one of those players out there, and I know some of you out
Oh,
there
it looked like
are
it
in
had
this space
multiple
as well,
like
where
you can
I
scroll
often
down.
make a kind of feminine character in when I play video games,
Okay.
and so I just love what options that we've been able to create there. Just so many awesome hairstyles to express, you know, a character just the way that you want.
And speaking of hairstyles, is this a secondary hair color that I see, or you can choose your primary and secondary, so you've got a two-tone going there, Olivia?
You can have a secondary, primary. Your eyebrows can be a different color. And to Aiden's point, where he was saying, you know, he usually likes to create a more feminine character. Something that I think is really cool.
So yeah,
with our
two-tone
game
for the outfits.
is that whether you have a masculine or feminine body type, you can wear whatever clothes you want. So you can have a masculine body type and wear a dress and have a feminine voice. You can have a feminine body type and wear pants.
That is fantastic. It doesn't feel like you're gonna miss out on any of the stuff by picking one gender
really
over
up
another.
to you how you want to customize your character.
So really, you have options. At the end of the day, limitless options. And I assume more will be added over time, as this is a living, breathing.
Absolutely. It's a live service game, and so that's one of the great things. You know, we're happy about the options that we're starting off with, but you know, this is day one from when the game first comes out. We're going to continue to add things into the future. So definitely, as players, you know, let us know what we're missing. We're excited to keep expanding this world over time.
Excellent. And our character, Maddie Mush, I believe is what the name was there, is looking so cute. So after Maddie Mush is created, what comes next?
So we're going to jump right into our introduction cinematic. No small amount of drama for how you enter the world of Palia. So let's check that out.
Yeah, we love drama. So what are we looking at here?
We're gonna wake up in a
some
shrine.
ancient human ruins. It's a place that our Majiri, which are our kind of purple-skinned elf-like
We secretly
race, what they call
chat.
the Phoenix Shrine. I wonder how they got that name, given the statue. And this is
Oh
an
yeah, like the
archaeologist.
demographic
Her
they're
name is
going
Gina,
for, like
and,
absolutely.
she's exploring these ruins.
The
and
way
has
it feels like
triggered
the
a
casual
magical
game
event.
that's gonna get very in depth.
As we can
You know,
see,
if
there's
any
some
other
magic
like
brewing
game
up
of that
there.
kind, anything to go by.
There's this sphere coming from the heavens. I wonder what we'll see.
I mean, that sphere of light.
I have
looks,
seen
looks
Sam
very
spreadsheets
familiar.
on
Yeah,
like
saw
A
it at the
Wonderful
end of my
Life.
character.
Oh,
So.
it's Mushy Maddie.
Oh my gosh,
Well,
it's
hooray.
you or me, one way or the other. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God, we all mocked the Wantro chat.
Yeah, so this is your character opening their eyes for the first time and seeing this world, and a very surprised archaeologist looking at them.
Olivia, do we as the player know where we've come from? I mean, just the fact that we're
I
kind
see
of
a
looking at our
pleasant menu.
hands makes me think maybe this is a rebirth or an awakening of sorts.
Yeah, your character is a brand new person, so they somehow know how to speak, but other than that, you know, they haven't really experienced anything before. So this new home is brand new in their eyes.
And I imagine our archaeologist, who is just kind of
Yeah,
examining
right now
some ruins,
is
probably
PC
quite shocked
for
at this
beta
point.
and
Yes,
then
Aiden?
Twitch later on.
Absolutely. So while there are many humans entering the world of Palia across
That's a good question. I don't know if it will. I don't know if they're going to
this
go
is the
into that
first
about
time
voice
Gina's
chatting or
seen
not.
someone kind of
Or if it's
come
just
to
going to be
life
normal
right before her
MMO
eyes.
tap
So you have
bot.
that kind of special connection to Gina right off the bat.
That's pretty impressive. All right, now I see it looks like we're starting to run through another area.
I gotta
Is
say,
this
in
kind of our-
motion now, not in
our
a trailer, it
first
doesn't look bad,
as
especially
the
for like the
character of the
more
world of Palia?
simple style.
Yeah, so this is where you're doing, you know, getting adjusted to some of your basic movement. Looks like this player knows how to get their way around all right. But yeah, here's the big reveal as you go out into Kalima Valley itself.
Gorgeous. Look at that rainbow. Look at that mist. And I assume we will be able to explore everything we're looking at right now.
It is, absolutely. So, you know, run down to that town. That's going to be the next step that we're going to go through here.
Okay, perfect. And does
So
that
that's the
town
main hub,
have a
isn't it?
name, Olivia?
Yeah, it is called Kalima Village. So the root word is similar to
Way to cut down
Kilimanjaro.
tree chat.
It kind of just helps you pronounce it there. But it's a small town. Used to be a bigger trade hub, but kind of has dried up. Sleepy little town. We've got 23 people living there, and you know, I think those like small town vibes can be really cozy, which is a feeling that we want to evoke throughout the game. Is like coziness.
Oh, it definitely feels cozy, and it feels like a world that I personally would love to explore and to live in, and I'm sure everyone watching feels the same way. Now, is Maddie just extra curious in going to the village, or is there something that Maddie's trying to do right now?
So Gina has told Maddie that in order to kind of get their housing plot to get themselves set up, they need to talk to Ashura, the innkeeper. Ashura is
Yeah, you
kinda
can
like
also
the
tell
dad
this
of the
is obviously
village.
made for
He
Twitch,
used
so
to
we
be
got a
war
little bit of
hero,
pop-in
but,
happening.
since then has become a pacifist and opened up this inn. And when the humans started emerging, he just kind of naturally took it upon himself to help people get set up. The inn's really small and can't, you know, house hundreds of humans, so he's getting them set up with a tent. And we're about to meet him just now.
Well, that's very kind of Ashura. I notice we're also walking past
Yeah, have
some
they
other
said
villagers.
anything about mounts?
Maxwell,
I
are you
feel
the
like we
type
saw
of player
mounts
that
in
when
one
you
of the
first
trailers.
go into a game like Palia, you want to talk to all the villagers, or are you going right for the quest?
I do like to quickly chat and just get to know who I'm around, and then I be
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be heavily
social.
social, especially with,
Yep.
you know,
And
the
Ashura
genre.
has quite an interesting look to him. So, Ambrielle, I'm going to ask you to kind of weigh
I'm very
in
curious to see
on the
how
character
people are
design
going to
of
actually,
Ashura.
like, fully
Oh
interact
yeah,
with each
I
other.
think Ashura's design is really awesome. It's cool to see.
Yeah, like the
he's got
tap
these
bot and the
tattoos,
present and
he's
stuff,
got a
and putting
dog
on
tag
par
around his
with,
neck, so
you know,
you can
other
really
games of the
tell what his
type.
background was like. But he's got, you know, the rolled up sleeves and the apron now. He's got a very soft expression. So yeah, you can see where he came from, but also he's a nice father figure.
And also, I'm
I
kind of
feel
curious to see if, like, the house is,
I
like,
love all the
you know,
details of the
its own
character that you just see in
instance.
the visual design. I think
I imagine it
the
should be,
art
right?
team has done and the animation team has done a great job bringing all that stuff to life.
Okay, there's a map. Okay.
So incredible, and so incredible of Ashura to welcome us as new players.
Okay,
to
that
this
map does
world.
look pretty
So
decently
I saw that
sized.
we took a look at a map really quickly, and then it took us to this new area. Is this just outside of the village, Aiden?
Yeah, so we did do a quick fast forward there,
Okay.
so no teleporting
Yeah.
through space in the game. And
I feel
way.
like it should
But
with the
this is
tap
your
bot will
housing plot,
probably
So this is really going to be
like
where
very similar
you have
to
so
you know the
much creative
bot
control as
that
a
he
player,
had talking
where
about.
you eventually start off with these kind of humble beginnings. It's overgrown, maybe not aspirational to start, but this is where so much of the creativity comes through, and you can build this into the place of your dreams.
Oh, I love that. And who are we talking to now, Olivia?
This is Hodari, the miner. He's been working with Ashura to help get the housing plot set up. A nickname that our developers have for him is Hot Dari, if you can imagine why.
It's the jawline.
It's the jawline.
But yeah, it looks like the
But
chat
right now
bot
he's
is
just
over there on
teaching
the
you how to
left.
use
It
your
was
axe
look
and your
like.
pickaxe to help clear the
Yeah,
spot
yeah,
of
what there
land
was.
as
They
the
push
timer
in on the
ticks.
chat.
Okay, wonderful. And then does he provide us with the axe? And
So I
the
wonder
pickaxe,
what,
or is
like
that
the
something we
reason,
need to
like the
craft?
That's
the
something he
UI is
provides
so
you
far on the
with.
right
So
where you
you're
can
gonna get
adjust
the
it.
axe and the pickaxe you see on your tool wheel down there. And
Yeah, it looked like it was
then,
an
you're gonna
instant because it
craft
looked like
the
they
tent.
teleported from a map.
Okay, it looks like
or
maybe
from the
we're
map.
clearing some space before we craft our tent. And for me, when I jump into a world like this, I'll clear just as much as I need to. But it looks like Maddie has cleared a whole plot. Aiden, what type of player are you? Clear the minimum or clear it all?
You know, you start off with this space inside of the fence, and I always feel inclined to just kind of
Because I'm
tidy
curious
up a
also,
little
like,
bit
how
before I
easy is it
jump
going to
back
be,
into the quest,
you
you
know,
know?
to actually
So
go between
I can
people's
really empathize
houses?
with this player here, so.
I get it. Olivia, do you clear the full plot, or are you going right for placing the tent?
I go right for the minimum. In fact, sometimes I'll build the tent and realize I don't have a place to place it, and so I have to
So that's
go
a
back
question
and just like
also.
clear a few
Will
things.
we be
and
able
I
to
take
actually
more
expand this out
time
beyond its size?
trying to do less work than I would if I just cleared a bunch from the beginning.
This is really cool what we're seeing here. So you just saw a glimpse of the grid. And so as soon as you like take an item that can be placed, that enters you into a placement mode.
Yeah,
Surprise,
so this is very
surprise.
much like the survival
and,
stuff.
You know, you can rotate items, and eventually
And that
this
with
will
my
get
old
much
CD
more
gonna kick in.
robust. You can even hide the grid and place things precisely exactly where you want them.
Oh, I love
that.
that.
Good.
I also loved the various rotation options.
good at
Like,
an
it's not just
option, though,
90
for
degree
that.
angles. You can really get in there and make it fancy if you want to. So it looks like Maddie has made a workbench and has
I'm gonna have
started
so many
crafting.
chests
And what
and
is
people
Maddie
on
working
chat.
on now?
So it's a storage chest, really important. You're going to be collecting a lot of different items in Palia. It's a good thing to make pretty early on, and you know, as you're collecting
look, we
things,
actually got
one of
like
the
a
really
leveling
cool things
system
we,
to
added pretty early
our
on is
crafting.
you can actually use the crafter and craft materials straight out of your storage bin
Now
without
the
having to
question
pull
is,
them
will it
out
be so?
yourself. So
Oh,
just a little
okay.
quality
Oh,
of life
yep.
feature
We
to
can
keep
fan
things
out
kinda
pretty far.
streamlined in the crafting experience.
That's lovely. And I see a new interface that we're looking at right now.
I had
What
a
is
big
this
grid, chat.
point of view?
So when you're customizing, there are two main views. You can do things in the 3D space, but for really large objects, it's really helpful to use that top-down view that you, by default, use the H key there, as you can see at the bottom of the screen.
Wonderful.
And that allows you to just kind of flip in and out. What's the best
That
way
is
to
good.
customize? You want to get a different look at
That's
things.
something like PSO need
Trying to give you
badly.
options.
And I love that you said for really large items, we are able
That way
to
you're not
start
going
Palia
just
with
by
a pretty
effective
large
of your
tent.
skeletal.
It's kind of surprisingly large, isn't it? You're like, oh, I think I could actually put stuff up in here. You know, wanted to give you some space where you can actually, you know, make it your own.
Yeah, well, that's very generous that we get to start off with that. So thank you, Ashura and Hodari, for setting us off on a good first footing.
It's more like glamping than camping, you know?
It is definite glamping. Okay, so that was awesome to take a look at. After this, can we go back into Kalima Village and take a tour? I know we saw a little bit of it when we first went through to meet Ashura, but let's really take a deep dive into Kalima Village. Let's see what we've got.
Okay, so after you're done with the tutorial, you're able to just kind of jump right back into the action, and you're able to choose from like a variety of different activities. You can go and you can meet all the villagers,
triad.
or you can start with our skills gameplay. I think this player may be about to talk to Ani, who's our delivery boy. He's very high energy, very excited. That the humans are back as the most exciting thing to ever happen to him, because you know he's just this little boy who lives in a small town and dreams of doing big things. Now it looks like we're going back over to the inn. Reth is the cook who works at the inn, and you can buy food from him. You can also go over and chat with him. He is one of our romanceable characters.
Romance.
I don't know. That is a good
if you're
question.
interested in
Like, I don't know if
dating
it's going to.
I saw some meme that was like, all like women secretly just want.
I feel like the main demographic for this is like
or
the
something
Toya
else that I was like,
season,
Minecraft covered.
Hobbit Moon.
Honestly, Olivia, there's so many
Stardew
interesting
Valley,
characters that we've seen already
with,
in the game.
like,
I was going to
the
ask
people
you
like
if
me
they're
who just
romanceable, so
love
thank
like the
you.
crafting.
Thank you for answering that question that I'm sure
and
is
gathering
burning
stuff of
within
like
a lot
new
of us.
war or survival game.
But yes, dating a cook, I think, is a lot of folks.
Because I feel like trying to hit
what else are we
them two
seeing here in Kalima
demographic
Village?
with this.
Oh, Aiden.
Oh no, it's
just,
hard
I
to
don't
keep
know.
up.
I
mean,
think
we're
it's
running
just
by
gonna
all these
depend,
activities,
I guess.
And, you know, one of the really awesome things.
Yeah, and
about
also I could
Palia
kind of
is,
seal me
you know,
at
while we have main quest lines that you
like
can be
doing like
chasing
sealed
after,
up.
it's also one of those games where, you know, game puts the main story in front of you and half the players just go
we are
left and keep running that
Pokemon
way.
catching now,
And,
aren't
you know,
we?
really the choice is up to you. We really wanted to make a game that you could play the way that you wanted to play. But of course, skills are a big part of that, no matter where you go. And so it looks like we're doing a little insect catching here to get started.
Insect catching, very nice. Now, would we be catching insects because they
Oh
have
my
a worth
God.
in this world?
You
or
think
are
about
we
we're doing
using it
Pokemon right
as a
now.
crafting
No
component,
gun that
maybe?
time.
You know, we get into a little of each there,
Okay.
but definitely they're valued by some people out in the world of Palia, and there are, of course, more common ones, more rare ones, so you're going to have to search high and low across different times a day to really try and find and
Yeah, the
complete a
RP
collection.
community might be
Awesome.
pretty
So
high.
bug
and
catching is definitely something we can do in this world. I kind of saw there your menu for switching back and forth. Is that between different skills?
okay, now my question
Absolutely.
here, when
So
you're doing
that
this
wheel
stuff,
allows
is it
you to
leveling
really
in the
quickly
background?
Just switch what equipment you have on. You'll find very frequently in Palia, you might start with a particular mission that you leave your housing plot to go out and do, but then you end up doing so many other activities that just pop up all around you, and so we really needed a way for the players to kind of hot switch between
Just like that,
those
Luna
various
gonna love
activities
Pancake now. Like,
as you go, as different opportunities kind of present themselves.
As the player that gets distracted by every single shiny, I appreciate that immensely.
You
All
know,
right,
I'm one of
Olivia,
them people
where
I
are we headed
will
next? It
chat.
looks like we might maybe do some fishing.
Yeah, we're at the docks. We passed by my favorite NPC to write, which is
Okay, let's see that mini
Einar
game,
the fishing golder.
Because Sam gonna lose
We'll
so
learn a
much
little bit
time
more
to
about
this.
him later. But right now we're just engaging in our fishing mini game, which is super fun, super relaxing. I think it feels a lot like fishing, and it's not as frustratingly hard as some fishing mini games are. Although, if you're trying to get the chase fish, it can
So you
get
do
a
it
little bit
holding,
difficult.
yeah, you do
But
it
you're
holding
just
left
kind of,
click and dragging, huh?
Trying to line that little parenthesis up with the fish.
We call it the safe zone internally.
Nothing like
you know,
too
that's one of those
crazy.
things. I'm like the player base will think of a name, and no matter what we call it, it'll stick whatever they decide it is. So
I'm a writer.
Well,
so
at
it's
least
a
they know.
parenthesis.
there we go.
It makes total sense. But Olivia, you
Yeah,
said the
that
fishing
too.
game is kind
Like,
of a nice
hopefully every
balance
bit of loot
of
have a
not overly
purpose.
challenging.
Might it
but
be
there
to
is some
building, might it
difficulty
be to
scale
giving
there.
to an
Yeah,
NPC.
you know, we're really going for that
Selling
easy
or
to learn,
whatnot.
difficult to master kind of vibe. Yeah, it's all of the fish, like if you're just trying to kind of complete your fish collection, are pretty easy to get, but once you get into the star quality fish, which are the ones you can display in your housing spot, those get a little bit harder to catch.
I see.
We're gonna
So
lose
we
Sam to
have
death
different
forever, chat.
difficulty levels of fish. It's all making sense now. I love a good fishing mini game, so I've got lots of questions there. But we'll move on. It looks like Maddie is running around outside, maybe doing a little bit more insect catching. Are there other things we can? Oh, I see a shiny. There we go. I just answered my own question. What are we collecting at this point?
This is a sundrop lily, which is one of our four.
Wait, hang on. We can pause it. What are we looking at here? I want to look at that menu real quick. So yeah, fishing, cooking, hobbit, mining, hunting. Okay, so it is leveling. Yeah, so we got also the insect catching. And in Lat 2, I'm not for sure. Obviously, it's something to do with, like... Oh, I get the wood, it probably, what? It probably just, trees. And then the forest would probably just building. So now the question will focus now. And it does look like, what, that probably like 5-6 accessories up there. Okay, yeah, build a store page. Okay, so it is, the more you do it, the more you level in the background, any for non-crafting stuff.
Forageables that can be
I'm
used
all for that.
for
That is
crafting furniture. Like
that
if
is
you want to
dopamine
dye
constantly
something,
for
that
me.
pretty orange color. It can also be used as a gift for villagers.
Oh, all right. I've got, again, I'm anticipating that gifting villagers is a way to maybe gain favor with them, but I'll put a pin in the romance discussion for now. We'll get to that a little bit more later. But I see that Maddie is collecting quite a few things at the bottom. Can you kind of talk to me a little bit about the interface that we're looking at there in the lower right-hand corner?
Yeah, so that's your inventory. Basically, at any given time, you can have, you can actually customize the number of action bars you have down at the bottom and flip between them as you want. But this is kind of like the hot selection options that you have. So, you know, if you need to eat something, which you can see.
Yeah, because you don't got to worry about dying or
for
anything in
kind of
that, since
keeping
I don't
track
think it's
of,
any combat or
you know,
anything in
what
that.
your focus bar is. And otherwise, it's just a way to keep track of what you have and if your inventory is starting to get too full.
Okay, perfect. And I see here in this player menu, we're looking at skill levels. We've got our tools. We've got some of those items there. What should players be really paying attention
you
to?
take combat out of survival game and then
So
put all
one
the
of the big things on the
town
bottom left
man
is you can
from
see
like
all your
farm
skills.
games, and here we go.
Each of those have their own level associated with them,
Okay.
and particularly in the
I don't know
early game,
if they
every
have
time that
dungeons
you're
or
leveling one of
anything,
those,
but obviously
you're
it
gonna
all
want to go back
PvE
to
stuff.
the skill master associated with that skill because
I don't know if we're gonna have like
some cool
Pacific
rewards, new
areas.
gameplay, new content for you to access as you progress through there.
You know, that more like
Excellent. Yeah, there's a
felt
lot to look at
datey.
there, but I'm sure it will become commonplace the more
I
time we get to
imagine,
spend.
to be honest, I imagine something like that will probably come eventually. Maybe not to the extent of MMO, but any like, you know, any like Stardew Valley and stuff, you know, have like simple combat. Might it be like doing like mining stuff, and you know, no deaths or anything. You get knocked out, you go back, and I think you lose some money if I remember right. But I could see them adding something like that, but nothing like beyond that, because like these types of farming gathering type games does have like light combat a little bit.
In
So it'd be
Palia.
interesting to
looks
see
like
how much of that actually going to
Maddie
bleed
is
into this.
kind of splitting her time between a couple different activities. And do you recommend that folks kind of jack of all trades it in terms of skills, or really specialize in one specific skill and then, you know, perhaps trade or use that to their advantage? Olivia?
I think that you can really play either way.
Also,
I tend to do
that's
a
my
little
other
bit of
question here.
everything, 'cause for
Like,
some
if you
reason
get
it
higher
feels like
level, you
cheating.
start getting higher level
So
loot.
like, to not
Can
actually
you
get
sell
the,
them
the
to other
things that I
players?
was supposed to use in a crafting recipe or for a quest. But you
You
can
know how
also
like in
just,
Final Fantasy 11 you had people that would like go hunt
specialize in
certain
one
monster to
thing
get item, and then the item be given to like a crafter, and then the crafter would make it, and then it go to whoever order it, like that type of stuff.
There's tons of different ways to play.
And I imagine that we have various quests that kind of walk us through familiarizing ourselves with these various skills.
Correct. We have a bunch of different NPCs are like heads of our guild. So Einar's head of the fishing guild,
Nice.
Alani's head of the bug catching guild, and we have quests with those characters to help you learn those skills.
Perfect. So once we've gotten all our skill levels up, how do we go in and build the house of our dreams? Let's see.
So you can see we've kind of fast forwarded in time again here a bit, and we've got a, you know, reasonably progressed house, something aspirational. You know, we've definitely moved beyond the tent phase here. And again,
Wait,
we're
them
kind of
wallpaper,
jumping
what all
between
that?
those different housing customization views in
Wait,
order
house
to, you know,
7?
build things out just the way we want.
Well, they might actually
in
like
this case,
actual
you know,
wounds.
the player is looking at the kind of attachment points between their buildings and the walls on the outside, which allow you to, you know, if on the inside, do you want there to be no wall between the rooms? Do you want
Okay.
there to be a small door, like a double door? And this is something that you'll also unlock more options for over time. Same thing with the windows on the outside. You can go no windows all the way up to, you know, really nice
Okay, so you
customized big
like
things.
Did we just put an addition on our house?
Absolutely. So
So
that's
just
also one
connection
of the big
points,
things you're
okay.
seeing. Again, mentioned that this is kind of an early game. You can have a mansion if that's where you want to take this
Wow.
experience to, add a bunch of additions to it. But
Now,
yeah,
how long do
as
it
you
take
add
them to
those,
build?
acquire new rooms within the city hall, you know, you have to build those and go through some of the craft time associated with it. It's also a nice thing to have your friend come out and help you get
There
through.
it is, yeah.
Now, when you mention craft time, is that in-game time? Is that real-world time? How does that work?
So for the buildings, once you've gotten the materials there is a real-world craft time associated with it.
That wasn't the
Generally, you know,
microtransaction
there's a
point.
little bit of time associated with bigger things in the world.
Excellent. And I saw we just kind of
Yeah, pretty
added
much same
this
as
whole
like
addition
Animal
to
Crossing.
our home. But if you wanted to get really granular and do it, you know, just by doing the walls yourself and really get in there and customize, that's an option too, correct?
Good.
Right, so you can
we
kind of
see
change
that?
the connections between them. You can also customize the wallpaper, the flooring, and of course
So this is
decor,
neat,
interior
but
customization.
I kinda wanna see
That's
what, like, the
something that
home
is
foot part
really
look
rich in
like.
Palia. We have hundreds of items for you to find, and you know, you can really put them throughout your house just the way you want to.
I wish that in real life you could add an addition to your house this quickly. You know, it's
my
like
gosh.
4 hours. Like that'd be great.
Just some wood
yeah.
and some stone. Man, I'll do that any day.
Yeah, it's
I know
taking
Minecraft
months
was like
to
one of
convert my
like the
garage,
super
so.
oldly like
Wood and
survival
stone in
games.
4 hours. Perfect. I agree. That would be lovely. All right, it looks like Maddie is going inside so we can see some of these interiors that you were
There'll
talking
probably
about,
other ones
and
that
some of these
well, but
interior
I would say
options.
mainstream
Which
wise.
interior options
Yeah,
are
Minecraft
we
would have been
looking at
probably
right
one
now?
of the
Can you kind of
fourths.
walk us through some of the things that we're seeing in Olivia?
So this player is pretty advanced, pretty far into the game. So they have some of our like more chase furniture items.
I guess honestly, it kind of depends. Now thinking about it, I think it depends on like in what way. Like if we don't survival game, then mainstream wide would be like Minecraft. But if we don't like, you know, gathering MMO stuff. Like the fourth one of that would have been probably EverQuest. And then if you get into like the farm type game, then obviously the original Harvest Moon on like the Super Nintendo and whatnot. So yeah, like I feel like a lot, because let's be honest, like a lot of survival stuff have pretty much become in many ways like that middle ground between like MMOs of yesteryear and MMOs of today. So it's like that whole like gathering, crafting, building, you know, it's so like ingrained now because of one of them things that just pop up in pretty much everything now.
Ambrose, maybe you could talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah. Over time, you can, like Aiden mentioned, collect hundreds of different decor and furniture items. So yeah, this player has gotten some pretty rare stuff. So they're probably investing a lot in this crafting system, learning to make some pretty high tier recipes, and maybe spending a little time at the underground market, picking up some super rare stuff.
Yeah, we'll get into the underground in a bit, but
I want to know how much of this is locked to
in
you
this
and your
world.
skill.
So
Hopefully
if you
none of that
want
microtransaction
magic items,
focus.
or you want some kind of, you know, more expensive art that might have
I
fallen
love
off a
stuff,
truck,
chat.
we have a cool underground market.
Oh, I love that that whole thing exists in this world. Like you said, we'll have to get more into that a little later. But I also love that Maddie is able to craft furniture items, it looks like right now. And that's a skill in and of itself. So it's not just a currency-based type of thing to get furniture. You gather the resources or trade for them, and then you craft your own
Which is what I'm
furniture.
excited for.
That's really cool. So what is Maddie
Especially if we
making
can
right
sell
now?
this stuff to other players.
So the Choppa is one of been the most popular characters
That could be my
as
next
we've been
question,
developing
Heel.
the game. And so of course there are a ton of Choppa themed items, wallpapers, all sorts of things that you can find.
Yeah, they
in that
obviously
theme.
got a shop,
And,
so it's going to be...
Of course, then
Like,
you can use those to
ideally,
customize your house
for
just the way that you want.
monetization, obviously they're going to be
beautiful.
the whole
And,
pay to
again,
skip
look at these
time. That's
placement
going to be a
options.
given.
So Olivia, kind of walk us through, once you've created something,
Like,
what
quote
is the
stuff,
process
since
to
it
then
don't
place
look
it
like
in
you
the
actually
world?
made the quote from scratch, that stuff will probably be commented as well.
You can either have the in-world view, like what you're seeing now, where you just click on the item and you can move it along to select on the grid, or you can actually place anything.
But yeah,
in that
other than like
top-down
quotes
view,
and
which
time, I
sometimes,
don't
like,
know.
a
I don't know how the
really
monetization
big
going to work
piece
in
like
this.
the gazebo, I kind of prefer to do.
Yeah,
the
this is free to
top-down
play.
view.
Totally.
Very cool. And this house looks so beautiful. I feel like Maddie, yes, is making this house gorgeous for herself, but also maybe wants to have friends over and entertain. How does that work as far as if you wanted friends to come over your house?
Here we go, social
or
hooked up.
maybe there are friends that you don't want to come over your house.
So permissions are a huge deal. If you remember that top-down view, there's a pull-down menu at the top there where you can set permissions on a per-player basis. And so by default, you know, a visitor just has a small number of activities that they can do with you on the plot, but you can upgrade them to editor status, which allows them to do things like move things around in your space, so that you can really kind of
We
share
never
in this
given that to Sam.
customization
Not
and
happening,
home
chat.
experience together. It's also one other really important part here is, you know, while you might spend a ton of time making this particular housing plot just perfect, you might have other people that maybe you have a totally different vision, a totally different fantasy that you want to chase together. And so we actually have the option where you can have multiple housing plots and set different permissions for other players on each of them. So a lot of control
Dude,
for
that is
the
neat.
kind of like social access and experience that you're having with other players in the game.
I love that. And so there's no like PvP where someone could come destroy my home after I've crafted it just the way I want to.
No, there. You're giving somebody. If you give somebody editor status, they can move things around. So
Sure.
it is something you want to give to somebody that you trust and you want to have.
So I wonder if
that
eat
kind of
quail
shared
would technically
experience
count
with.
it as a
But
plot
there's
of
no way
land
that they
then.
can come in and destroy
Or they
items of
separate
yours.
from that.
There's not a lot of destruction happening in Palia.
Okay, great. We're keeping it cozy and
Absolutely,
friendly.
cozy vibes going throughout everywhere.
Okay, perfect. Getting this hanging plant exactly where Maddie wants it here so that the entryway looks perfect. I am here for it. Now, you had mentioned, Aiden, having multiple plots. Is there a limit to that at this moment?
It's definitely more than 2.
So
yeah.
that's really cool. So you can really have that communal.
Also, that might
aspect
there'll
of
probably be
things and
another
make your own
monetization point.
little town
Probably
plots,
selling
if
actual
you
land.
will, of sorts.
If
That's
it's
like
very
that.
cool.
not just them quail
Town of
we
plots.
thought.
There it is. I also, in games like this, really enjoy gardening, and I think a lot of folks watching can probably relate to that. So what do we have in terms of gardening? Olivia, walk us through what we're seeing
What
just
matter?
now.
Well, tomato chat.
You're placing another gardening plot, and then you get the hoe that allows you to till. I like how therapeutic this feels. It's very tactile. After that, you can
So
plant
not all
your
manually, you had to
seeds.
manually do it?
Maddie has a good variety of seeds. She's got tomatoes, she's got onions.
Hey, that's my
got
tomato
carrots.
chat. Okay.
And a cool
Oh
thing
god, this
about
is
if
like
you rotate your
a
crops
scratch
like
off
that
chat.
is you actually can get buffs from the tomatoes being next to the carrots. So if you're a min-maxer, you can do that. Or if
I
you
love
just
how tomato
like
the
the
main
look of
thing,
one
chat.
particular crop, you can do that. There's a lot of freedom in our gardening system.
To be honest, I know that will
All right,
be.
I want to hear
These are
more
going to
about
be
min-maxing
absolutely
the
bigger than
garden.
Wayfinder.
When it comes to, are these things
Especially
we have
up
to
front,
self-discover
these are
in
gonna
the
be so
game,
much
or do
bigger.
we get clues throughout Palia about where to
Hell,
position
Sam
your
literally
crops to get
posted
these
one
bonuses?
video about
think
Doya
Maxwell might
season
do a
and
good
got
job of
more
answering that.
subscribers
Yeah,
and
we
views
try
than
to
I have
make
got
sure
this
players are able
year.
to discover this themselves
So-
and expose that information. It's not
Like, the
hidden to
community
you.
is
And so we
very
see that
ravenous in
examine
a
key
lot of
there, like,
ways.
if you press, again, default G, you'll be able to see the buffs that are being shared, as well as if you look at the seeds in your inventory, it'll give you a little hint about what to expect if you plant it next to a different crop. So.
Oh, okay.
Okay, great.
So
And I
the-
see
so
the
those, like,
bars as we're
the
planting seeds. I saw the
garden
bars
bleeding
above that. What
stuff.
is that showing us?
That's the watering. So here we go. Maddie's gonna get some water in her watering can and then hop on over and make sure that the
Oh, we will
plants
absolutely
are well
relive that.
watered and ready to grow.
Well taken care of. The seeds will not grow if the soil is not watered. This is perfect. So is this done
Oh,
one
I see. So
square
that
at a
what that
time?
ball
Is there a way
is.
to kind of
Okay.
water multiple, or is that getting into spoiler territory and we shouldn't talk about that today?
I think we could talk about it. Yeah, starting out, we're gonna give you some simple tools
Okay.
to get you going, but as you engage in the various skills, eventually you'll be able to craft higher tier of each of the tools. And so,
Time to get point
you'll
goal,
get a
chat.
better watering can that will have maybe
Yeah,
a
yeah,
wider,
like Sam posted
cone
on
to
our
water
YouTube
crops
channel.
and make it a little bit easier because you'll also get more soil plots.
Well,
so
I
you'll have a
want to
lot
say the
more
video. She made
plants
one
to,
video, and I
be
want to say
taken
last
care
I
of at some
looked, it
point.
had like
Level up.
4,000
level up.
views on it.
Level it up. Now I see we're harvesting.
And she gained like almost
when we
100
harvest, do we have to
subscribers off
start
one
again
video
from the
alone.
seed phase? Do we get seeds as we harvest? How does that work, Aiden?
Yeah, it's definitely something that typically you'll start again, so you have to put seeds down. You can get seeds from a variety of sources in the game. Buying them at the store is kind of like the default basic. But we also have different kinds of seeds, like our tomato plants. You see, we just harvested those, and
Yeah,
they're
my
going to
boys.
regrow again. So you actually don't have to go back to the starting phase until you've done several harvests on a tomato plant.
This is where the min-maxers have spent a lot of time trying to spreadsheet out their plots to figure out
And it's
how they
all
can
thanks to
maximize kind of
tomato
their
chat.
earnings over a period of time.
It was really cool in the alpha to see players making these grids of how they were min-maxing the various spaces and kind of sharing that information. There was like a whole template that got developed for people thinking about this. And of course, this is a live service game, so it's going to continue to evolve. So expect us to shuffle
Oh,
up
you can
that
plant
meta
trees
from
as
time
well.
to time.
Nice.
And I love how much you guys, saying y'all as Singularity 6, really do listen to the
Man, there was
community
so
and take
much
that
in this
player
that just
feedback.
like
So when you get
it's just
grids and stuff
dopamine
like
hitting
that,
for me.
when you see players sharing those kind of things in the alpha, do any of those things ever make it into the game?
Oh, absolutely.
If we
it
can
would be
craft
hard
everything and that
to
don't fit in the economy
understate
as
the
well.
impact of the alpha phase that we've been in. We've done
The
multiple
only thing I feel
external
like
play
missing
tests
here
through
right
that,
now.
gotten so much great feedback, ideas.
My inner Final Fantasy
it's
11 crafter
something
is going
that
to come
we
out.
pay a ton of attention to. So I really just wanted to say for a moment, thank you for everyone who has play tested and helped improve Palia over time. And for those of you who haven't gotten to be a part of it yet, you know, we've just been developing this arm and getting adjusted to having players be part of the experience. And this is something that's going to continue as we go into the beta phase.
That's awesome. Thank you, everyone. Ambrielle, because we didn't get your input on gardening, is there a favorite crop that you like to grow the most?
Oh, I mean, we talked about how you don't have to replant
Yeah,
tomatoes.
with Doria
That's really
season
nice.
videos.
I think you've got to have a good variety to do a little bit of the
Yeah, she
min-maxing.
made, I
It's
think,
fun
3
because if
video
you
and then
want
like
your garden to be
10
super
short,
aesthetic,
roughly. And how
you
many
can
on
plant
our
whatever
channel,
you
if I
want, and
remember
you're not going to
right.
get any downsides. There's no harm in just planting all tomatoes if you think that looks beautiful. But yeah, mixing and matching them gives you some fun bonuses.
Perfect. So whether you're going
All
for beauty
tomatoes
or
all the time,
min-maxing or
chat.
a little bit of both, you'll be all set. All right, we touched on some of the villagers that live in Kalima Village, and I'd love to do a bit of a more of an in-depth look at those villagers if we could. So let's see, let's walk through some of the villagers that we will meet in Kalima Village. Olivia, describe who we're talking to right now.
This is Zeki. He is a Grimalkin. The Grimalkins are cats from outer space. They're like,
Wait,
like
kitty?
libertarian space pirates.
Oh, God, no,
And,
no.
They run, in addition to the regular
The
store,
evil, got
Zeki
it.
also runs the Kalima branch of
Why
the
make the
Grimalkin
kitty
Underground,
evil
and that's where you
libertarians?
can get cool magical items, maybe some more high-tech stuff, because remember they are from space. So if you want some technology that's not something that would usually be available in like a small village, you can get that from the underground as well. But he's like one of my favorite characters to write. I love his animations. I love his sense of humor.
And Olivia, as our lore expert here on the panel, can you tell us again why some items might be more underground than others?
So I think I mentioned earlier, magic in Palia is a bit taboo. They grew up in the shadows of this human civilization that crumbled, and they were, you know, a highly magical civilization, and so they have interpreted this as magic is dangerous.
Okay.
And so it's, you know, it's very regulated, and Zeki is against regulations, so whatever. It looks like we've gone to the city hall. This is Kenyatta. She's the daughter of the mayor, and she's kind of a rebellious teenager. She's been given this job as a way to like learn responsibility, but she's like pretty bored. She does not want to be working here. But the player coming and talking to her is like a good break in her day. So she always is welcoming the players when they come by City Hall.
Now, is Kenyatta also a romanceable option? I have to ask. Her style is so cool.
Yeah.
She is, and she has a very fun romance plot.
Yeah, I'm probably going to make some videos about that. I'm obviously going to play it.
Romance.
I love it. And you said she exists in the world as the mayor's daughter?
This is like
Yes,
an in-between game /
she
coming
is the
back
daughter
to
of
game.
the mayor, who's like this
While waiting for
kind
Wave
of
Final.
bumbling politician character, and the magistrate, who's his more like strict, sort of like upper crust.
Let's be
like,
honest here. Wave
Victorian
Final going to be my
aristocracy
passionate
life.
game. Well, this is going to be
Yeah,
my
she's
dopamine
great. I love
hit.
it.
That will
I
probably
love
pay
that. Well,
my bills.
Ambrielle, I'm going to pick your brain on Kenyatta's
That's
look
probably how
in
they're gonna
just
go.
a bit later on in the stream, because her style is so cool. And now we're looking at Olivia, who I said
This is gonna be a
you had said
dopamine
earlier,
game,
might be one of your
absolutely.
favorite characters, yes?
Yeah, Einar is a Galder. Galders are basically robots made by the ancient humans, but they've been kind of hanging around Palia for thousands of years.
Wow, they still want no
they were all
WD-40 needed,
programmed
chat.
with something called the oneness. And that's like the one thing in the world that makes them happy. So Einar loves to fish. We have another Galder who loves to like take care of people. She used to be a nanny back in the day, so she's very caring, very loving. And we have a lot of fun Galder characters.
Let's be honest, there's
So
going
the
to be a
Galder
hippie
follow their
character somewhere.
programming very
will
closely, even
probably
though they
be
were
with you.
programmed thousands of years prior?
it has become a little bit disconnected. So like if there was a Galder who wanted to, or who was made to build houses, now they might say like, stack rocks by the beach and watch them fall. Because the oneness is in the act of doing the thing, it's not in the results. So I think that it's
Oh
it's
God,
like a
the
cool
people
way
that
to
put together
kind of
puzzles and then
talk
destroy
about
them.
like, you know, that one thing that you
Could
really
never be
love
me, chap.
and how that can evolve over time.
I love that. So it's like they're programmed with a passion,
Yes.
but not with an end goal.
Exactly.
And we're going to see some really fun ways that the lore will play with this kind of concept over time. So it's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of my favorite things that like the writing team has had fun playing with and like taking it into a bunch of different directions.
That's awesome. Okay, so I asked if we had different romanceable villagers that we can speak to in Kalima Village, and let's really get into this. How can I be friends with the folks I meet in Palia?
There are several ways to kind of gain friendship points.
Oh,
This
nice.
is our
Okay, so we
friendship
can actually see
tracker.
level.
So you
Fantastic.
can see that
Weekly
Maddie is
once, huh?
friendship level
Well, they're all
2
weekly.
with Ashura right now. But the several ways of getting to know them are you can talk to them.
Do I know no PvP? I don't know about trading.
Every hour.
I have no idea about the market trading stuff.
Once every
But no
real
PvP
world
to my
day.
knowledge.
And they have these special gifts that they like called weekly wants. Those you can discover through talking to the villagers what they want that week. Or you can even talk to their friends. So if you're talking to Gina, she might tell you what her best friend Hecla wants that week. And once you learn
this
it,
is
it'll
very
show up
much
on the
like
weekly
Animal
want
Crossing.
UI, and then, you know,
Well, like
you
certain
can
days
give
of the
that to
week,
them for extra
certain
points.
character would
That's really
want
cool that
certain
you
thing
can
or do
get to
certain
know
thing.
their friends. It makes it feel like a living, breathing society that
Yeah.
you're a part of. That's awesome.
You know
Ambrielle,
what
question
our
for you. When
weekly
you
going
play
to be?
games like Palia, or when you're playing Palia, do you like to focus on friendship and society first and foremost, or do you like to focus on your gardening and your home plot, like we've seen earlier?
Home plot
Yeah,
chat.
I think in games and in life, I'm more
I'm
of an
team
introvert,
building
and
and
so
crafting
I'm
help.
usually focused a little bit more on skills,
Sam will
a little bit more on
maybe
building my
get into
house.
this.
But like Olivia, my first priority is becoming best friends with A&R, and after that, mostly focused on the house.
This isn't too much of a spoiler because you learned it early on, but Einar will always accept shiny pebbles.
Yes.
the
And
secret.
you can find those through the various types of skill gameplay.
I'm pretty much always holding at least one, just in case
Yeah.
the timer's up.
So I have to ask, is every villager we meet has their own friendship meter? Are they all romanceable?
They're not all romanceable. They're all friendable. So
Okay.
we wanted the main
My question
way
is
that
how
you get to
is
know
it going to
characters to
reset
actually be
weekly
through their
or
friendship.
what happened when you met
because
all the
you can have,
characters
really
out?
Great, relationships with people that you're not romantically involved with, right?
Sure, of course.
So like their main story is their friendship, but certain characters also have a separate romance meter you can unlock. Once you're close enough friends with them, you can give them a
Oh,
romantic
that part where
gift
that
and
second
enter
ball
into
is
that
at the
romance, and
bottom
that
on some of
unlocks
them,
the
wasn't it?
story.
And you can always see that on the UI, you know, which ones have the romance option that you can unlock. So if
Yeah,
you
the thing
wanna
get
check,
me
you know,
dopamine is the
definitely an
stuff
easy
of like,
spot
I
to
do
it.
X,
there
I
may
get
be some
X with
characters
equal
who are
X.
not romanceable yet that could be in the future.
That is
So it's
always like
something we're
mine.
adding.
And if you want to unlock all the quests, I like to tick off all the boxes. Is it
So if
possible
you,
to
and you know,
romance
doing
more
stuff
than
and
one
leveling
character
by
within Palia?
doing, also another
Yes.
one for me.
So at the state of the game we're in right now, you know, again, like we're a living, breathing world. It kind of like as far into a romantic relationship you can get is kind of like the early courting stage. So you're allowed to romance as many people in that stage as you want. At the end of their romance plotline, they'll give you something called a pin, which means they really like you. And then you can wear that pin and people will comment on, oh, you're dating so-and-so, that's awesome. And you can equip up to 2 pins.
That is the cutest thing I've ever heard.
We're making up
and
all
I'm
cute
here
chat.
for
Let's
it.
go.
All right. So as I said, I
Tomatoes
love
and
to go
tomatoes.
on quests, whether they're romanceable quests, non-romanceable quests. So let's go ahead and go on a quest and see what that looks like.
Okay, yeah, let's see this.
So for Maxwell, describe to us where we're going right now and what we're about to see.
Yeah, so we're jumping into a quest a little bit into the game now where the player, as they've been exploring kind of these ancient ruins, has come upon a bit of a barrier for themselves, and they've been directed to find Najuma, who, Olivia, if you want to give a quick intro for Najuma.
Yeah, Najuma is the miner's daughter. So Hodari's daughter, and she is kind of a shy teenager, and
Yeah, this
she's
is
an
a stuff that's
inventor.
very common in
But a lot of
farming
her
games.
inventions are kind of dangerous. So her dad
Like a
doesn't really
lot
like her
of
doing
like
that kind
okay, hang on. Like a lot of like if you go play like Harvest Moon, Toya Season, Stardew Valley, is them games are usually broken up into like two camps, which is like the social dating game and the farming game. And pretty much everything like lean back into the dating game in one way or another. Like example being like the one Sam will playing on stream with Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life. Like that whole thing is, you know, getting married, having kids, friendship. Stardew Valley is also a lot about relationship stuff, the dating stuff, the family stuff, but also like a community of your town. So yeah, a lot of the like farm games, like this is pulling from, a lot of them is like very heavily like dating sims as well. And it kind of nice actually seeing that still gonna translate into any as a MMO.
of stuff. But one of the things she's invented is a glider, and Gina knows about this glider.
And also there's a part where the toxicity gonna come in, now thinking about it. And like if you romance the people and you get the pins and other player can see them pins, knowing how like the dating scene is for these types of games or just in general, go look at any like Otamu game and you will see this. Like on one hand, it's also a bonding experience for some people, and on the other hand, they're like, oh god, you like that person or that mine, you can't have it. So like, I guarantee you that will probably most of the toxicity gonna come from knowing the fandom that usually evolve around like dating sim stuff.
The archaeologist, so she is told to
Sam taught my yields all about the drama and old dating sim like every day.
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna have to make this glider, we're gonna have to go do a little bit of gameplay and find some materials.
Okay, perfect. And is there a reason that Najuma's the one who is like the keeper of the glider, if you will?
It's just because it was her invention.
Got it.
So
Cool.
That's the way, she's the only one who knows how to make them.
I want to cut these trees so
see,
bad.
but soon we
I
will
want
learn
to see
make
tree
them.
that like must
So
be level
Maddie
3 to
is now
cut.
gathering the resources, yes, and we'll gather the resources needed, and then where do we go from there, Maxwell?
Yeah, so looks like we're gonna do it the hard way and manually go through, chop some trees. We need to get some leather, so that means we're gonna have to do a little bit of hunting. And then lastly, get some fabric, which we can grow cotton at the home plot. So we're collecting everything we can here, and I think once we get that, we'll be able to go back and use some of our auto crafters on the home plot to make the final pieces required.
Wait, auto craft?
So,
Wait, what?
Now, when you said Maddie's doing this the hard way, that leads
Are you gonna
me
get
to believe
like
that you would play this differently.
NPC that will
yeah,
do
I
auto crafting?
hate growing cotton myself, so I tend to just buy it from Tish's shop
Okay.
and jump straight ahead and
God,
make
I
this
want
a little easier on myself.
Got it.
I know, and only a
you
little
buy
bit
it
like
from the
that,
shop
but like seeing like they
because
cutting
you're
down
trading
tree
it, or
and
how does that
stuff and
work?
crafting.
Yeah, so
Made me just
a
want to
number
play
of our
Bullheim again.
NPCs, or villagers run shops, and we try to make sure that players always have an option available to them if they don't want to engage in a particular system. So
Okay.
Good.
in this case, you know, I don't really like to make the fabric myself, so I'll go to her shop and just get it myself.
Play the way you want to play.
Play
So
the way you
probably
want to play.
probly easier
I
and
love that.
cheaper
Well, I mean,
to
that's the thing.
make it
With
yourself
a game
though.
that you're going to exist
Especially
in
with the
for
corn seed.
tens, potentially hundreds of hours, having the option to play the way you want to play is really important.
Absolutely. It's been a core
Yeah, everything
part that we tried to build
farmable.
into Palia kind of
I would go
throughout
the
the
farming
experience
route.
the whole time. So, and
100%.
also the alphas really helped us kind of tune in parts of that, just, you know, to the right balance.
Yeah, Amy,
Excellent. And you
man.
see, it looks like
Hey,
we're
maybe one day they
really
would do a
putting
crossover
together
tip.
this glider piece by piece. Olivia, how do we make a glider if it's not too much of a spoiler?
It's
Ah.
not.
Okay, I see what they are doing here. Yeah. So they literally doing like in other games. Like I know, I get the best way to put in like Minecraft whenever like you cooking metal, you will put it in and it'd be a timer. The only difference it like specifically tell you the time it's gonna take to build, which is 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 8 minutes. So So yeah, this is nothing out of ordinary for survival games.
So right now you're making wood planks with our autocrafter system.
Especially like the higher tilt
Maxwell can
up
probably
usually
tell you a
require
little bit
you
more
to
about how
do
the
this stuff in other
autocrafters
games.
work, but you're going to be making fabric and planks and like all the leather and all the ingredients.
Now
you
on
need for the
pancake, now
glider.
Pip.
Yeah, and so a player over time will acquire a number of autocrafters in various skills to help them, refine the raw materials they collect.
So I
out in
wonder,
the
I
world
wonder that like a
and
wank
turn it
thing,
into,
be like level
higher
5 in
tier objects
woodworking,
that they
get a
can, make
saw.
furniture with, or we saw earlier like adding that addition to the house, which requires you to get the planks created.
Or is it going to be like
that's a
certain
lot of
time
resources, I
NPC
would
will
imagine.
sell certain things?
So we've got a bunch of things
Hopefully
going
the
at
wank
the same
thing.
time here. Do we finally have everything we need to make this glider, or we have a couple steps left?
I think we just have to get all the items back to Najuma so that she can put it together.
Yeah, and it looks like we skipped ahead here. All the autocrafters work on a real-time system, so
Okay.
there is a little bit of time once you put your stuff in there that you'll have to wait. But
Well, you know what? I like that because there's so much to do in Palia that if I have to wait 5 minutes for leather, then that means I can go out and catch some insects or do some hunting.
Like that,
or,
literally just survival
put some time
game
into
stuff.
another skill that I may not have had the time to invest in before. So I feel like it's really encouraging.
God, the
really
dopamine is
mixed
so
gameplay
strong in that
experience,
chat.
Yes.
yeah, it's also a great opportunity if you maybe want to take a break at a time. You can load up your autocrafters, take the break.
I
come
wonder if
back,
they
and
ain't
things will
gonna
be ready
allow
for
any
you.
type of modding in
bio
there,
breaks,
so
come
that could be
on.
like a ban
Yeah.
thing with it being an
Who
MMO.
needs that? All right,
It
we're
might
back
just be
to
a ban
Najuma
thing.
now. We've got all the supplies. So now Najuma is going to assemble this forest. You said this isn't something we need to craft on the workbench?
Yeah, so the things that you craft in the workbench are things that you can craft an infinite number of times. The glider you only craft once.
Yeah,
so
because of the
Najuma does
tool
it for
thing.
you.
Okay.
That's awesome. All right, now you talk about maybe fishing or playing together. I certainly want to play with my friends in multiplayer. Can we talk about how multiplayer works within Palia? Embryo.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, there's tons of things that you can do in Palia with your friends, and most of them are better for it. All of the skills that we looked at previously have some bonuses for buddying up, like we're seeing here.
So they're doing like
Okay,
a
so we're
percentage thing, like
buddying
being a
up
party
and,
at
doing
percent
it
battle at
together,
whatever
and,
guild.
do we share the resources that we're gathering here? Is there a shared loot system? How does that work?
Yeah, so anytime you're playing with friends or even just random folks in the world, as long as you participate in the activity, we want to make sure everyone gets the same kind of rewards. So we've got 2 players here that are chopping the tree. Both of them receive a loot pile that they can pick up and acquire. And that holds true across all of our various skills. So we really want to make sure
So that'll
players
quite one
don't
point go
feel
tree
like
and 1
they
point go
are
to mining.
kind of taking away from another player
Right.
Will it
and
just
allow
be
them to
just
join up.
that for them?
Great.
Or that
makes
also
sense. And I
sharing.
think I'm seeing, now that Taylor and Maddie are teamed up here, they're chopping down these trees twice as fast. So is
Right.
there a world where I could get 5 or 6 friends together to really just go through a whole area and we're all getting the loot? So it's just like a great way to get lots of loot.
Definitely possible.
Okay.
Some of our players have do what they call deforestation efforts on sides of the
Whoa.
map, where they'll group together
Now the
and try
question
to
is how
clear
fat
out
do
a
they stop
zone.
weep on
We
now?
also have a couple opportunities where we really
man,
want
are there a
you
lot
to
of
join
people
with some
doing
friends.
that?
So you may see certain trees
Not
out
in a
the
group, you might be
wilderness
shit
that,
out of luck.
You're gonna need to partner up to really take out.
Oh, wow. Like just like a really massive
Okay.
Massive tree, or maybe something a little magical.
Oh, I love it. Okay, no.
Okay, so
no
they're
more
the
spoilers.
Fort
I'll be quiet
Co-op.
on that one. It looks like Maddie and Taylor now are fishing. Is there more to fishing together than just having really great conversations, or is it, kind of like being away from the keyboard where you're fishing with a friend over, over a drink or something like that?
Yeah, so as long as you fish near another
Oh,
player,
I get the mini
you
game
actually
now.
both start to receive.
Yeah, so the fish are
a
moving
little bit
and
of
you
a
having to
buff,
keep them in that
while
circle.
playing.
Okay.
We also have an option where, and I
Okay,
love
a little
doing
more
this,
in depth
but
now, I
if someone's
thought.
struggling with the fishing mini game, and you're able to walk up to them, you can give them a little bit of encouragement to help save them in that moment and help them catch that fish. And it's a really great, lovable moment. that people can
We're
do
going to just stand
together.
behind Sam and
Can
chill
multiple
chat.
people offer fishing encouragement to one player?
Yep. You can all join in and try to, cheer them on and make sure that they succeed.
All right, I feel like next time I'm in Palia, I want
Now
to
the
get a bunch
question
of
is, do you
friends
get any
together and just be the fishing
is that your
cheering
role
squad
playing
and
stuff?
applaud everyone
Or-
so that they can
or they're,
catch
like,
whatever
mechanic
fish they
tied
like.
to
I
that.
think that's maybe the way I'm gonna play it moving forward.
Yeah, same old to like the
Ambrielle,
light
have you had
up in
any experience
PSO
with the
is.
cheering on friends in fishing?
Oh yeah, especially like we've been talking about, the mini game is a little tricky to get the hang of because it's not super simple. And once you get in there, it's definitely approachable. But yeah, some of those more rare fish, the ones with stars, they're pretty hard to catch. And so it's always great to run by, cheer for your friends. Even more fun when you don't know the player to just run by and have a nice little moment and then carry on with what you're doing.
I always go and clap someone whenever I see them catch a fish. I'll just run up and clap and then walk away.
Just a little random act of kindness to bring positivity to someone's day.
Absolutely.
I'm here for it. So, I mean, at least with gathering so far, with fishing and the things we've seen, do you think it's safe to say that, you know, Palia can be made even better with friends, if you will? It's fun single player, but when you pair up with friends, you're getting more rewards faster, you're getting that positivity in fishing. Is it safe to say that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's been one of our core philosophies in designing any of the skills is that, you know, we want you to be able to do things by yourself, but we really want to make sure it's better when you engage with other players. And, you know, an example here that we're seeing, this is the honey lure, which is a later stage item in the game for our insect catching skill.
I won't. Okay, so
it's
they're
open
like
to anyone
Pokemon
to
Go,
come
where
in.
like
So
you make
players
more
that
than
acquire
fun.
these and craft them, they usually like to call out in the servers of like, hey, I've got a honey lure, anyone want to join up and we'll catch some insects? And so anyone can come in and start to, you know, jump into this party where you can see in the screen there's tons of insects just showing up now. And they can also combo if, you know, one of the rare insects show up here and try to catch it together. So,
And how would you combo to catch an insect?
yeah, so as long as you try to throw your smoke bomb at one of the insects with your friend, you'll be considered as participating in that, and we'll reward you on it. And each time a player adds their smoke bomb to it, we give a little bit of an extra chance to catch the insect.
We also just have different smoke bomb types. So you might just have a basic one, and you might have a special one that has some sort of effect on the bug that makes it easier to catch.
Yes.
Okay, so pairing up with friends who have special smoke bombs is the pro tip I'm hearing right now. And now we're moving into hunting together. Ambrielle, what would be the benefit of hunting together?
Yeah, because it seemed like
Yeah,
Tip died in one
so
hit.
if you have terrible aim like me, it is helpful to have someone with better aim come with you, or even two people with bad aim. You'll get there. We're pretty forgiving with the hitboxes, but you can sneak up on these Sernuk for, depending on the tier of your bow and how skilled you are in hunting, they're going to take more than one shot, which means you're going to be really running around, and they're very fast and hard to keep up with. So having 2 shots or even more in a hunting
So they're
party
just
can
higher
really help,
level in the
especially
video.
early
Got
game.
it.
Okay, and I'm guessing that this works similar to insect catching, where anyone who participates in the hunting may get credit and may get the overall loot and resource for hunting, correct?
Correct. As long as you're trying to take that shot, we'll count it.
Awesome. And I see some farming together. Are we gardening together just to get it done faster? Is that the thought here?
Yeah, so you can always join your friend's house at their house and help them do a little bit of gardening by watering their crops or tilling their soil.
But I assume that it's not the same style of shared loot when it comes to harvesting, because you don't want everyone to come and harvest all your crops.
Yeah, this is one instance where you'll get the items yourself. Your friend isn't going to be able to steal your garden crops from you, as funny as that might be with some close friends. So
whoever's
I guess any of they have the
that
editor.
yes.
Exactly.
Okay, great.
Any editor can't do it, I guess.
Thank you for sharing that. Now, what is that menu we just looked at? Is that a little emote menu?
It is, yeah. So this is what you would do exactly to cheer somebody on in fishing, but you can also just do it for fun when you're with your friends.
Celebrating a great harvest with Jay. All right, now that we've harvested, this is the first time we're taking a look at cooking. Tell me how
Wait, is that like
what the
multiple?
benefits of cooking
Yeah,
are,
that
and kinda
multiple
how
thing.
all of that works.
Yeah, so this is the main feature for using all those gardening crops you're growing. It's a skill that we really
Wait,
wanted to focus
I saw like
on
a dog
multiplayer
food.
gameplay in particular. And so sort of like real world cooking, if you're by yourself, it's going to be a little chaotic because you're jumping between different stations. You need to, chop some veggies. You need to flip the pan. But with a friend, you can combo
okay,
that
so
up
the
and
mini
make it a
game
little
tied to
easier.
this. Oh,
So we have a number
I
of
thought it was
mini
all
games
menu
as part of the
focused.
cooking activity. This one is the chopping one, but there's also a flipping, a stirring, and a rolling activity that you'll be asked to do. As players collaborate, as long as, again, you help in making of this dish, you kind of share in on that final dish that's created. And I think Olivia mentioned earlier, but star quality dishes you'll be able to place on your plot. So, you know, we see players often make a beautiful spread on their tables.
What, do you got to put that
of
twice?
their cooking activities.
Are there any particular perks or buffs or anything that you would get from a higher star quality meal?
Yeah, so cooking and food basically fill your focus meter, which focus in the game really feeds into all of your progression. So as you do activities in the game and you level up each of your skills, as long as you have focus, we're giving you a benefit or a bonus on that experience earned. So it's definitely beneficial if you want to like really push forward.
So
in the
the way to
game
handle the
keep your
energy
focus meter
system
full and make sure you're consuming food at a regular basis.
So you
I feel
get
like
no more
that's
feeling, but you get more
very
if you have food.
Stress-free take on a traditional survival mechanic within a game like this, where it's
Yeah,
not
an
like,
outdoor
I
farming
need
sim
to
would be
eat
like
and drink and
if you
sleep
didn't
and
eat,
keep
you would
all
just
of that
pass
running
out.
in order to do this. Instead, you're rewarded for having your focus meter full. Is that correct, Ambrielle?
Yeah, absolutely. Just sort of like a lot of things we've talked about, like with gardening, you can really min-max if you want, but you're not going to be punished for not doing the optimal thing. And same with focus. It's really beneficial to have a snack before you go out, just like in real life, but you're going to be fine if you don't.
Just like in real life. I love a good snack before I go out, and in fact, had one today. All right. I've seen some pretty incredible looks today, some really nice fits on our villagers and on our characters. How would I go about increasing my own look and my own vibe check, if you will?
Okay,
Ambrielle,
here we go.
tell us about how we can look our best in Palia.
Is it all
Yeah, so we're running into Jel's
in-game?
shop right now, which is one of my favorite NPCs. And we're checking out all of the different options that we have. So we saw at the very beginning when we looked in Character Creator, there's a bunch of different options that are all available to players for free as soon as they start playing. And you can open up your wardrobe, which can be on your housing plot, at the stables, or you can come visit Jel's shop, which is the fun way to do it in town. And you can see all of those options that we saw in character creation for hair and all of these different outfits.
Is it free to do?
And then now we're taking a look at some of the premium options. So these are, they get a little bit crazier. We have some fun options to mix and match here. Swap all
I
of the
didn't
colors
cover it up
so
how
that
much
you
it is
can
with the
take one
camera.
piece from one outfit and mix and match it with a bunch of other ones and try to create something that's really unique to
Yeah,
you.
there's some of the pre-order stuff. Oh, not pre-order, but
yeah, running through some of this is a
affiliate
fan
program
favorite so
stuff
far
like the
for
hats,
Sixers, and I
the
think probably
cat
for Terrans
hat.
too.
Are those shiny antlers we were just looking at? That's
Yep.
very cool.
Exactly.
That's very cool. Now, you mentioned that some of the items are more premium, and we're here at Jel's shop. So
Yeah.
what is the currency in the world of Palia? Are we trading for this really cool bug that we just caught, or how does that work?
Yeah, so this shop is the only place right now where you are using real world currency. So this is our premium store. For everything else in the world, you're using gold, which you're getting through insect catching, any of the other skills that you're just gaining normally throughout play.
Is that the mayor's jacket?
So I called
did
that.
you buy the mayor's
I said
jacket?
the comment that probably
It
buy.
is pretty fun to try to get some outfits that maybe match your favorite NPC or someone you're maybe trying to impress. Get something that maybe would appeal to them.
Very nice. And what is this that we're looking at right now? That looks comfy.
Yeah, we have to pause on this one. This is a super comfortable look. This is always what I like to be wearing at my housing plot. I like to have different outfits for every occasion in Palia. And this is the one I would
Can you set up
prefer to be
intent
wearing
for that?
in real life too.
Yes, I think next time we all get
So
together
you load in and
in
it
this
auto
inn and
change
do
you?
this stream, we should all be wearing that onesie.
That would be perfect. I love it.
I'm down.
That's it. We have it. And oh my goodness, is that a musical instrument, Maxwell? What is that? Or can we play guitar in Palia?
That was the Bard Star outfit, which, yeah, if you really
I'm
want
kinda
to
curious to
live a
know
rock
how
and
much they're
roll
gonna
glam
cost.
lifestyle, that's your outfit for you. Can't instruments yet.
Okay,
But
yet.
it's definitely something we could do in the future. We'll see.
Another Wardale
I love
tattoo.
that. And you know, there's a lot of people who want to live their best bard life. So I love that we
Absolutely.
have a look for that. Now, all of the looks that we're seeing right now, are these things players can expect to see during Palia's beta?
Yeah, absolutely. So everything we're looking at now will be available during the beta, as well as probably a couple more options too. And then we're going to be releasing new options all the time. There's already a pretty good breadth of expressions here that you could choose depending on what
I do
fantasy you
like
wanna
how
have
it
in
not
Palia, what
random
kind of player
chance.
you
It
wanna
just
be. And
here
we
it
hope to
is.
add to that all the time so that you can always find new expressions for that.
Even if I'm not
some
gonna
of
put money on it,
some
I
of the
still
looks that we're seeing
appreciate
right now
it.
look a little more real world inspired, while some of them do look a little magical and more high fantasy, kind of like the look that we're seeing right now. What is
Absolutely.
this specific outfit?
Yeah, this is the Soothsayer outfit, and you can see that there's 3 versions of the Soothsayer outfit that all have a very different vibe to them. This one has the twinkling stars on the underside of the bottom, which I love.
I wish I could see
It's really fun
the
to see while
currency
you're
amount.
gliding. Yeah, this is pretty much the outfit that you'll almost always find me in, or at least some parts of it mixed and matched with others.
Awesome. Now, does the Soothsayer outfit give you any type of buff or bonus, or are these items strictly cosmetic at this point?
Strictly cosmetic, so we want to make sure that nothing that would hold you back from gameplay is pay-gated in any way.
Great.
So we think expression is a really big part of Palia, and players are going to want to show off the kind of personality they have and change that as often as they want to. So we want to have a lot of options there, but we also want to make sure that there's nothing that's going to block you from gameplay, no bonuses, no pay to win.
Hopefully no
I
selling
feel
stuff on
like
the
in
player
terms
market.
of look, from what we've seen of Palia
Only
so far,
Stuff you buy with
it's
real money.
very cozy, but there's such a wide variety at the same time. And I want to ask a little bit about what it takes to bring that art style of Palia to life. So can you speak to the efforts of your team a little bit, Ambrielle?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a ton that goes into it and a bunch of super talented developers. It all starts with an idea, obviously, and that comes from a bunch of different inspirations, whether it's from personal taste from individual artists, whether it's from inspiration from different media that we like, different art that we like. The world of Palia, it's a wide world already right now, but it's going to get so much bigger, like we keep talking about. There's a lot that will unveil in the future, and we try to take inspiration from all of those things as we translate it from a concept to modeling, rigging, getting it into game, animating it, all kinds of different texture, material treatments, and of course testing it through our awesome QA team.
Yeah, it's a very in-depth process, but it really does pay off when you get to see it in world. And Maxwell, would you say the same for your team as well? It's, walk us through that process a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. When we think about creating the world and that cozy vibe, there's a lot of intentional thought put behind, shape language and color palette in the game. And I think we'll
Also,
see a little bit of
real
that
quick
in a second.
chat on the concept part. I
So
do
the
appreciate
team
how
is
they named the
constantly trying to
artists
find a
at
way
the
of,
bottom.
like balancing how do we
That
make
nice
sure
little
a player
touch.
can, express themselves in whatever real world aesthetic they want, but also make it match appropriately with the world of Palia.
That makes sense. All right, now earlier when we met Kenyatta, Ambrielle, I said let's talk about this a little later in the stream, but Kenyatta has a very unique style, and I feel like we get to see so much of her personality just in her look. Can we talk about how her signature look came to be?
Absolutely. I love looking at these concepts. I think it's really cool when you see a sheet like this and you can instantly get an idea of who the character is. We were talking about this a little bit earlier. You can see even with some of the notes here, like if she actually wore the jacket properly, this is what it would look like, but you will never catch her doing that. She's always having it tied around her waist. So you can really see the sass that comes through, which is really rooted in how the character's narrative is shaped by Olivia's team. And it's sort of input from all disciplines, figuring out how we bring this character to life. Even seeing like some of the small details in how her jacket matches the same fabric as her mom, Esha, who she's not always the biggest fan of outwardly, but there's still some ties there. Yeah.
I think it's wonderful. I'm so glad that we're getting a look at this Kenyatta concept art, because I don't know that I would have picked out right away that that was a blazer that was tied around her waist, but you're right. It says so much about her character that, you can see how her mother would love her to dress, but she's doing her own thing, and I am here for it. All right, let's go back to Maxwell, what you were saying kind of about the game's style overall, and how you were able to pull some real world inspiration, some fantasy inspiration into a look that still feels very cozy and lovely and warm.
Yeah, our art director Jeremy has done a phenomenal job kind of finding this cozy vibe and how we influence every object in the world. And we can see, looking at Kalima's library here, look at the architecture and how we have these like curved edges, soft shapes, pastel colors to soften kind of the mood. Trying to avoid like hard points that the player could, accidentally brush against and feel pain. So everything is meant to feel like cozy and comfortable.
Yeah, a little bit like rounded.
Yeah, and I assume this design philosophy holds for the interiors as well.
Yeah, it goes through all of our decor objects. So if we look at the bed here in a second, as we try to like
Yeah,
take
no like
influences
sharp edges or
of
anything
real
on it,
world objects,
really.
or in this case, like what does a fancier, more
The closest
like
thing would be the bottom, I
aristocratic
guess.
vibe look like, but still feel
way connected
cozy
to
at the
floor.
end of the day. You can see that come through in this. Again, trying to smooth things off. We've got the nice silk bedding on it. Really tries to hit that vibe of coziness.
Yeah, and I mean, you can see from the art style alone the kind of sheen to the fabric. But is that reflected in how one would craft the items then as well? So you need the more premium fabrics to make the more premium furniture.
Yep, as you saw, that had silk in it.
Yeah, I
You're
feel like
probably
that
gonna have to
given.
get some silk in the game to make that bed.
All right, awesome. We have already seen so much, but I am getting the feeling that there's more to
I'm
Palia
just
than
why they don't have
meets
minigame tied to the
As much
crafting
as
that
we've
well.
gotten to run through today,
they did
it's
it
still just
for
a
the
sliver
cooking.
of all the things out there to experience in Palia. We do have one other really exciting thing that we wanted to show off today, which is looking at our first adventure zone, Bahari Bay.
Cool.
Okay, there's
Bahari
the version
Bay,
of
it's
Blaze
very
or Dungeon.
mysterious.
Where our first zone that we've been looking through, Kalima, compared to this zone, which is meant to be our title for them, our adventure zones, we're really trying to capture this sense of exploration, this kind of greater sense of scale. But this is also functionally where you're going to be doing a lot of the higher end gathering, where you're going to be doing a lot of collaborating with other players, finding so many of those hidden things, those boxes and such that we were talking about earlier. It's just going to be a fun
So
place
pretty
to
much
explore,
outside the
and
hub
a really
city,
different
technically.
vibe from what you get at Kalima.
And Bahari Bay, as you see it now, is just the beginning. Like, we're going to be coming out with new adventure zones. We're also going to be revisiting adventure zones you've already seen. So if a door is closed, you may see it open later.
I see. So you may have thought that you explored Bahari Bay and then returned to it later only to find out that a new door is open and there's much more to explore. Oh my goodness, there is so much
So the levels
to
are
take in
pretty modular
within
at that
this
point.
world.
Being
For everyone
able to, like,
watching,
just add
when
stuff
can
to it all
players
the
get their
time.
hands on Palia?
First off, really important thing, sign up at palia.com. That'll
we
give you a
have.
chance to get into our upcoming closed beta, which you can see here. So definitely something big to look forward to. Again, sign up at palia.com.
Awesome.
It'd have to be
I
my
cannot
account.
wait. I'm going to be streaming it. I'm super stoked. Thank you.
And I will be streaming
Thank
it as
you
well if we
to
get in.
everyone who's watching. Thank you to our wonderful panel that we have here today. It has been such a pleasure being here. So I'd like to close it out with all of you telling us what you are most excited for players to get their hands on Palia. Aiden?
Wow, it's hard to pick just one thing, but after all this time, I just can't wait to see players be in the space, to get to, be playing the game, see the world of Palia filled with life the way we always intended it. So I'm just excited to see you all in Palia as a part of the
I do have
experience
a
and see
question,
how
like,
everything
player
speaks to you.
shop, player
We are
trading.
excited too. All
What
right,
do we fun
Olivia,
time on the
what are you
crafting
most
stuff?
looking forward to from players in the closed beta?
I can't wait for players to meet the characters that I've been
Well, that's the main
spending
thing
last
I'm
3
curious
years
about.
getting to know, and our entire development team has been spending the last 3 years getting to know. So I can't wait for everybody to meet the characters.
The cast of characters is so colorful. It's going to be amazing. All right, Maxwell, what excites you the most about players joining into the world of Palia?
Aiden kind of touched on it, but I'm very excited to see how players respond to the game, especially later in the game when they're progressing, and what they do with their houses and how they customize it. Like, we've already seen a ton of creativity in our alphas, and once we open up to even more players, I expect we're going to see some really cool stuff from them.
And for you, Ambrielle, what are you most excited to see once players finally jump into the world of Palia?
I'm really excited to start seeing players playing together. I think when we have a really active chat going on, there's folks inviting each other over to come cook together, let's go insect catching together, and bringing that kind of social experience back to the game.
I think it's going to be really fun. All right, again, thank you to everyone for being here today. Thank you all for watching. Stick around for an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at our live orchestra recording by Palia's composer, Stefan Schmidt. And we will see you in Palia. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like, especially after watching this, like, a lot of my dopamine hits from these types of game, survival, farm, dating sim games, bit toward into the MMO side. So like channeling like a lot of stuff that I loved about New World, a lot of stuff I actually liked about like Final Fantasy 14 with the crafting. Like that right there was like the main draw on this. Which is the reason I'm kind of curious about like how the trading and player market operate. Because like the type of player I ended up being in like Final Fantasy 11 as example, outside of a course breaking kneecap for money, but that's a separate story, was a lot of like gathering and crafting. And you know, being like a middleman for that, for the people who didn't want to do it. So I kind of hope a lot of that will also bleed into this. I had to hope anyway, but my plan for this is, of course, if we can get into the cold beta, we will be checking this out on, what is that, Wednesday? Yeah, I get Wednesday. Be checking out then. I believe they said the open beta like on the 8th that anyone can jump into. I believe that's the case. I need to double check that. If so, and we don't get into the private, we will absolutely hop in then for this. But we will see. Hopefully we get into the beta. And yeah, I am very like curious the way this is gonna go, because you know, like I said, the way it's leaning into all the stuff I enjoyed about 11, 14, hell, any in WoW, and then not counting the stuff from like Story of Seasons and Stardew Valley type stuff. And also, I'm waiting to see the community be on fire about certain dates. So we all know that's gonna happen. But nonetheless, this video will probably go up on YouTube as is. And if you are checking out, then we are taking it from our live stream that we do every single night over here on twitch.tv/troymaconn. As well as on YouTube, as long as YouTube is not, you know, trying to remove my stream, which main reason why we only live on Twitch tonight. But nonetheless, come on over to twitch.tv/troymaconn, hang out. We're in the middle of a giant Metal Gear marathon right now, and then of course we do have Palia coming up. We also have Wave Final coming up as well. So make sure to like, favorite, subscribe so you don't miss out on any of that stuff.
Yeah, make sure you keep hitting
Thank
that
you.
like button.
Thank you, Pip.
Like,
Exactly. Thank you, Pip. And yeah, we'll be hopefully hopping into this on Wednesday. Hopefully.